What's going on, guys? It's Hi, and today we're going to be installing a carbon fiber field door cover onto the A90 Supra. Let's first take a look at the carbon field door cover that I'll be installing. This particular cover is made by OLM, and the overall quality looks really good. I don't see any obvious imperfections, and that's kind of surprising for a relatively cheap carbon part. One thing that I will note though is that each strand of the carbon weave is thinner than I'm used to, and in totality, the entire weave just looks smaller. This is something to think about if you have a lot of carbon in the near vicinity of the field door, because the carbon weave of this part might stand out and not match. Now, the carbon cover itself just installs with some double-sided tape, and that's fairly straightforward, but I'm actually going to take the install process a lot further. One complaint that I often see with cheap carbon fiber parts that's been clear coated is that the product tends to yellow. This is likely the result of using a low quality clear coat. I want to avoid this, so I'm going to first wrap the cover in paint protection film, then I'm going to ceramic coat the film. I would be using Expel Ultimate Plus PPF, and that in itself offers UV protection, so I can realistically stop there. Expel offers a 10-year warranty on the film, but if you want to get anywhere near that lifespan, you really have to coat the film itself, and that's where the ceramic coating comes into play. To start, I'm going to decontaminate the surface, and for this, I'm using Meguiar's Mild Professional Detailing Clay with Last Touch Spray Detailer as a lube. Although this is a new part, I would still recommend claying the surface because you just never know what the part has gone through prior to delivery. I for sure saw some contaminant specks on the surface of my cover, so I knew that this was something that I had to do. After decontaminating the surface, we can move on to actually applying the PPF. I begin by applying a slip solution to the surface of the cover. This will allow for easier repositioning of the film if necessary. Because this is a smaller part and I have it off of the vehicle, I've cut a big enough piece of PPF to allow me to completely engulf the cover. Once I'm happy with the position of the film, I squeegee some of the solution out towards the edges. As the surface dries, the film gets tackier and sticks to the surface. For something like this, it's just a matter of working from the center out. Then when we get to the edge, we can trim the excess, make things look pretty, and call it a day. Now, I'm by no means an expert at this. I've learned to do this on my own, and I'm just taking what I think is the most logical approach for this product. This is actually only my second PPF project, and something like this is perfect practice because the surface is rather flat. There isn't too much to do to get good results. After some work, I was able to get the cover completely wrapped to the very edge. As you can see, there are some bubbles, but the Expel PPF does allow for trapped water to evaporate, so all those bubbles should be gone with some time. Here we are the next day, and as you can see, most of the bubbles have disappeared. Because the PPF is mostly dry, I'm going to move forward with ceramic coating. For this, I will be using Adams Graphene Ceramic Coating. I've applied this coating to all the Expel PPF on the Supra, and I know that it performs well on this material. First things first, I'm going to wipe the surface down with Adams Surface Prep. This is an isopropyl alcohol mixture that is used to clean up any remaining oils. This will leave the surface bare and ready for coating. Now for the coating process. I'm going to apply a few drops of Adams Graphene Ceramic Coating onto this microfiber towel and cover the entire surface of the carbon cover with it. It may be difficult to see, but when the coating hits the surface, it flashes and creates a rainbow effect. When the rainbow disappears, I can wipe the coating off of the surface and that's it. The instructions state to keep the coated surface away from water for the first 24 hours. Since this part is small and off of the vehicle, I'm just going to keep it inside for the next day. At this point the cover can be installed, but because I know that there are some etched in water spots on my fuel door, I'm actually going to polish it and get a flawless finish prior to installing the cover. This is going a bit overboard considering that no one will ever know what I've done, but I just can't stand the thought of water spots sitting under the cover and etching further into the surface, possibly for the rest of the Supra's life, since I don't plan to take the carbon cover off anytime soon. Now that the fuel door is thoroughly cleaned, we can move on to installing the carbon cover. Again, it is held in place by double-sided tape. Normally I would suggest peeling off a small piece of the backing, position the cover, then slowly peel the backing with the cover in place, but there are a lot of relief cuts on the perimeter of the backing. I tried this method and the backing broke on me pretty quick. Luckily the cover wasn't really held in place at this point, so I could still take it off. You really don't want leftover backing behind the cover, as that would make an improper seal and can let a lot of dirt and debris collect back there. So for this install, I would suggest to just take all of the backing off and just go for it. It's extremely hard to mess up with positioning, as the cover really only installs in one way. Once the cover is in place, apply some pressure to promote proper adhesion, and you're good to go. There you have it, a relatively simple install taken over the top. I'm pretty happy with the result. The cover looks so good on the car, it really pops out against all the white. However, there is one thing that I want to note. I actually think that the fitment of this carbon fiber fuel door cover could have been a bit better. If you look at the far left and right edges of my cover, you'll notice that some of the PPF is actually lifting. This is because it rubs against the fuel door cavity as it opens and closes. The fuel door cover itself leaves very little room on these two sides. If we look at the cover from the back, you'll see that there is actually some extra material on both ends. This slight rubbing actually makes it more difficult to open and close the fuel door. I have to actively focus and push down exactly where the locking pin is to open or close the door. I don't think that this is the biggest of deal, but it is an annoyance for sure. On the bright side though, the fuel door doesn't annoyingly swing open anymore if I just slightly brush up against it. To me, for the big visual upgrade that this carbon fiber fuel door cover provides, I'd gladly take the minor annoyances and can definitely recommend you going with a similar upgrade, whether with this OLM carbon cover or one from another manufacturer. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it around, comment down below with any thoughts or questions you may have. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more content. If you want to further support my work, make sure to check out my Patreon and the other ways to contribute down in the description below. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.